What are you looking at, butthead?
All right, so I've been meaning to watch this movie for quite a while. It's been on Netflix. It's Drinking Buddies from 2013, and I'll watch pretty much any movie with Olivia Wilde in it. She's a really good actress. She's incredibly gorgeous, and I've liked pretty much every movie she's been in. Let's see, the last one I saw with her was probably Her, that movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix. She is a blind date in that. I really like that scene. And I think the last movie before that I reviewed was Butter, which was surprisingly good. So I'll watch pretty much anything with her in it. And it also stars Jake Johnson. He's probably most well known for his role in the TV show New Girl, which I haven't watched, but he was also in a movie called Safety Not Guaranteed, which I really liked. That was pretty much the first thing I'd seen him in, and he was really good in it. I like his personality and everything. So this movie is written and directed by Joe Swanberg. I'll kind of like get into his work a little bit later, but it follows Olivia Wilde and Jake Johnson's characters. Olivia Wilde plays Kate, and Jake Johnson plays Luke. And they work in a Chicago brewery together. Luke is a brewer, and Kate is more of like a events coordinator, stuff like that. So getting people to do visitations or setting up parties and stuff like that. And they're each in relationships. Luke is dating a girl named Jill, played by Anna Kendrick. You might know from Pitch Perfect or Up in the Air and a couple other movies. She's pretty recognizable now. So they're in a serious relationship, and Jill really wants Luke to propose and stuff like that, and move to the next stage of their relationship. And then Kate is dating a guy named Chris, and he's played by Ron Livingston. Probably know him the most from Office Space, the main guy from Office Space. He's really funny. And so we have these two couples, and Kate and Luke, they work together, and there's kind of, the whole time you can see there's kind of a flirtation between them. They're really good friends, but they're also seems like they're more than friends at sometimes. And eventually we see these two couples go to Chris's lake house, and so Chris and Jill end up going on a hike. Luke and Kate don't want to go, so those two go off and go on a hike, and while they're doing that, they end up kissing, and that comes into play later, but they don't really do anything else. And then Luke and Kate are back at the cabin. They're just drinking. They drink a lot together, and that's kind of their MO. They hang out all night and drink together, and it's weird. There's like a real closeness and like this very blurred line of, do they like each other? Are they flirting? It's very ambiguous and kind of unclear, and that kind of goes on throughout. And so they're kind of doing that at the lake house. But then you see a point where Kate goes to bed with Chris. They're just going to sleep, and Luke stays up with Jill, and he kind of has the same relationship with her. It just, he comes off, he has that kind of personality. He can just be really fun with whoever he's with. So you kind of get that sense later. Well, you're just like, well, okay, he's just a fun guy to hang out with, and he'll be like that with whoever you know. But then later, Jill, she goes away on vacation for a little while. She's going to be gone for like a week. While she's doing that, Kate has broke up with Chris, and Luke's going to help her move and all that stuff. And so then some more of their flirtatious interactions kind of come into play while they're moving, while Luke's helping her move and stuff like that. And you kind of see him get jealous when Kate breaks up with Chris, and she's kind of hanging out with some other guy. And so that's kind of the story. It's about these relationships, about this friendship between Luke and Kate, and how they're really close, and just how they might have mixed feelings. But then, I don't know, I really liked it. I thought it was interesting to see how, these two people can be really close, and there might be something between them, but at the same time, maybe Luke's just being protective of her a little bit, being protective of Kate, and doesn't want to see her get hurt, and it comes off a certain way as maybe a flirtatious type thing, but maybe that's coming from Kate's perspective, or Kate's end is more of the flirtation. I don't know, I really liked it. I thought it was just a very honest portrayal of different relationships that you might see in real life. So I liked it. I'm giving it a 4.25 out of 5, so it's a really good rating. And well, I had mentioned I'd kind of talk a little bit more about the writer-director, Joe Swanberg. I haven't seen any of his other films. He has a couple. One's called LOL. He did a segment in the horror movie VHS. He's also an actor. He acted in the movie You're Next. A couple of his other movies. Let's see. Uncle Kent. So he's kind of in a subgenre of indie movies. It's called mumblecore. And I haven't really seen too many. This actually will probably be my first movie that is in that subgenre. It's kind of focused around kind of a core group of writers, directors. A couple other big ones are the Duplass brothers, Mark and Jay Duplass. Mark Duplass he was in Safety Not Guaranteed. He's also in The League. And a couple of the movies they do are like Puffy Chair and Hump Day. And then another recent movie that's been getting a lot of good praise is Frances Ha. Might be kind of in that subgenre. Typically what it is, it's kind of naturalistic, so the settings are all in real places. Like this movie was set in a brewery in Chicago, and was on set. Everything was shot on location. It's all natural. And I guess typically it's usually amateur actors, which I think that's kind of not as important anymore because these writers and directors are getting a little more recognizable. They're getting better casts, and obviously these actors are not amateurs. They're all really good. The acting's really all good in the movie. It's kind of, but then also another thing is that the script is a lot of times improvised, a lot of improvised dialogue, and I guess actually that was the case for this movie, which is surprising for how well it all works together. And you know, they have points that they have to hit within the dialogue, but they'll kind of go through it and just improvise a lot. So I thought that was even more impressive, and you know, kind of upped my respect for all of the actors. It's really good, and you know, it's kind of what the movies focus on, is a lot of dialogue and these relationships that they're building with each other. So I would definitely check it out. I think this is, you know, my first step into that mumblecore genre, which I've heard a lot about but just never really watched. But I like some of the, you know, a lot of those actors and writers, directors are getting bigger and more recognized. So I'll definitely check out that genre a little bit more. So I would check this out. It's still on Netflix last time I looked, so easily to watch. So yeah, maybe crack open a beer, watch with somebody, and I would definitely check it out. So cheers.